Since 1983, Sierra Tucson has provided healing and life-changing recovery to those suffering from addictions and behavioral issues. Thousands of people overwhelmed with pain and hardship have come to Sierra Tucson and found healing that is not simply a physical process, but an emotional and a spiritual awakening. Nestled in the foothills of the Santa Catalina Mountains near Tucson, Arizona, Sierra Tucson offers a beautiful healing environment in the high Sonoran Desert. This natural setting, along with the compassionate care and clinical excellence from professional staff, helps people connect to a power outside themselves.
I knew that I had to get away from all the other influences in my life, my family, my friends, my children, and really concentrate on trying to get well. And it was a miracle what happens when you come to Sierra Tucson. The environment is something that I have never experienced.
And when I entered those doors, I had no idea what to expect.
I knew that I needed to be here and I wanted to come here.
It's incredible. I can't even describe it in words.
It was an absolutely amazing experience to me.
I was very impressed with the people that I met. They were at all times very supportive, and that was very important to me.
The most important thing to me was the staff, because I needed 24-hour care.
You know, I think when people walk through the doors, I think what strikes them most is really the authenticity and humanity of our staff. They do an amazing job about walking their talk. There's just an incredible blend of compassion and humility.
Sierra Tucson's highly skilled staff include medical providers, psychologists, certified specialists, and licensed master's-level therapists. Not only are they clinical experts in their field, but many have actually been through the pain and anguish of addiction or illness, and therefore they can connect and relate with compassion to what patients are experiencing.
The staff was tremendous. Everybody was caring, loving. No one's passing any judgment.
It's just such a nurturing environment, and that's what I needed.
They weren't judgmental. It was loving, compassionate.
And it was like somebody finally held a mirror to me, and I could see myself, and at the same time I could see myself through loving eyes of other people. And I knew that they'd been on the same journey.
When I first came, I was greeted with open arms, basically. I wasn't judged by anything that I said. There was a lot of stuff in my past I needed to talk about, and I could relate to a lot of people.
It was evident to me that it was a comfortable, secure place.
Before the patient is even admitted, we do a very thorough evaluation because we want to know specifically what their needs are. Each patient's assigned a primary medical provider, a primary therapist, a family therapist, and a continuing care coordinator, an entire multidisciplinary team whose responsibility it is to continuously update that patient's treatment plan.
Our biopsychosocial spiritual approach, called the Sierra Model, recognizes that all of us exist as mind, body, spirit, and emotions. Only when the whole person is treated, not just the symptoms, but the underlying problems, can recovery begin.
So it wasn't just to treat whatever their particular addiction behavior was. It was to treat the whole person.
Using drugs was just part of my disease, was just part of my addiction. There's a lot more that goes into it, and finding out what else goes into my addiction and working on that has changed like everything inside about me.
To treat the whole person in 3 dimensions, we utilize a broad range of treatment modalities that are specifically tailored to each person's individual clinical needs. Sierra Tucson has really been a pioneer and a leader in the development and the application of a variety of innovative therapies. I think it's really our ability to integrate some of these innovative therapies in combination with our staff's ability to provide truly compassionate care that opens up opportunity for breakthrough in the patients' lives.
Sierra Tucson is different from many treatment centers in that we treat a wide range of addictions and behavioral disorders. Sierra Tucson excels at treating coexisting disorders, including alcohol and chemical dependency, eating disorders, trauma and abuse, depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety disorders, and more. An individualized treatment plan is designed for each person to achieve the most effective combination of group therapy, family therapy, traditional, experiential, and integrative therapies, specialty consultations, education, 12-step work, and medication management if needed.
Persons with trauma often exhibit self-harm behaviors, might exhibit depression, anxiety disorders. Also, we would see people with sometimes eating disorders, gambling addiction, sex and love addiction, and oftentimes more than one of these things going on at once. Art therapy is used to help patients express their feelings about trauma and traumatic events that they may have lived through. Towards the last week or two of treatment, I see an openness in the person, a gracefulness about the person, where they're able to actually tell their secrets and let go of some of the shame about things that they have lived through, give the shame back to the perpetrators and recognize their own self-worth.
The eating disorder program was excellent.
When I came to Sierra Tucson, I told the intake counselor that I didn't have a problem with food. I mean, that's how much denial I was in. And she said to me, why don't you just try it? We'll second track you in eating disorders. I said, okay. So I knew a lot about nutrition, and I had been on every diet in the entire world since I was about 8, and I didn't think there was anything anybody could teach me. But the program here was, I found a completely different way of thinking about what the food was all about.
One of the great programs that Sierra Tucson does offer is the equine therapy. And I was terrified of horses, but I was very trusting and I gave it a chance. And it was another wonderful step.
Sierra Tucson was one of the first treatment centers that expanded into the physical by having large areas for fitness and exercise. In addition to therapeutic and recreational activities, integrative medicine incorporates vitamin and nutrient therapies, acupuncture, chiropractic, EMDR, massage therapy, meditation, somatic experiencing, and yoga. And the family program is a powerful component for healing both patient and family.
And I work with children who come from families where one of the parents is a patient here. This is really a family disease, and it does impact each person in the family. It touches everyone.
Actually, it was life-changing for my father and I.
The relationship that I've gained with my family is 100 times better than it was.
They all went through the family program, which I think was a very, very helpful.
You sit opposite each other, and there's a circle around you, and you confront each other on different behaviors in a very controlled, environment. And it's just an amazing experience.
It was an experience that, if you don't go through it, you couldn't fully understand and appreciate the power it has.
There were a lot of things talked about that had never been talked about before.
It's amazing the difference.
And it's a life that is so much richer, so much more fulfilled.
And from that moment on, I feel like crying right now just saying that. It was like my eyes were opened. Something happened to me.
I'm a different person, and thank God for that, for my children, for my wife.
I'm living beyond my wildest dreams, and it keeps getting better.
Sierra Tucson just gave me back my life. I'm forever grateful.